Hi, everybody. Mitch here. Thanks for joining me today. So today, this is not really a bug or a cyber attack, although it may feel like one if it happens to you. This is kind of a tip. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. I heard a story the other day, and I hadn't heard this before. So I thought, well, if I hadn't heard it, maybe other people haven't heard it either. Come on, computer, you can do it. There we go. So apparently some airlines ask people to present the credit card that they use to pay for the ticket as an anti-fraud mechanism. And while that's great, it doesn't work so good as in this particular story where the person was on their way home from London and they said, gee, we want to see your credit card, which they did not have because it was not a credit card that this couple was traveling with. They left it at home, which is, generally good advice. Only bring the cards you need. So, I mean, here's the story, right? They spent a week in London. They went to Heathrow. They tried to print out their boarding pass, and it said, swipe the credit card you used to purchase the tickets, which he didn't have. The kiosk gave him no other option. They were directed to a Delta supervisor who explained that without presenting the credit card, they could not issue boarding passes. And Delta said this is basically to protect you against yourself. Now, obviously, these people, since they're traveling internationally, they could verify their identities. They had driver's licenses, they had passports, but none of that made Delta happy. This is what happens when you have a large company that has a policy, and the policy is, this is the way we do it. You don't like it, go fly on a different airline. So, they said, well, you can buy another ticket, a one-way ticket, two new one-way tickets for about $6,000. Which of course Delta would not refund, or find a way to get a picture of the original credit cards. So what they did is, and this is, pretty creative that they could possibly do that, at 3 a.m. Back home, they called their neighbor, talked them through turning off the burglar alarm, getting into the house, and texting them a picture of the front and the back of the card, at which point Delta finally printed the boarding passes. I think the thing here is, it's fine if you're going to do that, I guess. But you ought to let people know, because what happened here is they were stranded on the way back, not the way out. So they'd already made it from Seattle to London, spent a week in London, and now on their way home, they got hit with this, and they didn't get hit with it on the way out. And apparently it's, certain airlines, certain credit cards, whatever, kind of semi-random. Probably, places where there's a high degree of fraud. But, if you travel, recommend you bring your credit card with you. The thing that I don't understand is, what happens if this was a corporate credit card, which, if you use corporate travel services, you typically don't have their credit card. Now, maybe they're smart enough to know that you bought this with corporate travel, and therefore they won't ask you for the credit card, but I don't know. It seems kind of random at this point. So, you might want to check and before you head out to the airport, find out what the requirements might be and how you're supposed to handle that. So that's all I have. Thanks for listening. Share with your friends about, our YouTube channel. And until next time, stay safe.